I am not a financial advisor. Any and all content provided by me contains my own speculative opinion on the market. As such, this content should not be used to make trading or investment decisions. The market is extremely volatile, and the decisions you make should be based on your own due diligence. If you should make a trade or investment decision based off the speculative content that we provide, this disclaimer legally relinquishes me from any and all responsibility. Past market performance is not indicative of future market results. Trading in any market is extremely risky, and you should conduct your own research and analysis prior to making trading or investment decisions. Well. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Wednesday or Thursday morning, if you want to perceive it that way. I do not. It is Wednesday for me, so happy Wednesday. I hope everybody is having a great week. Welcome back to the channel. I know I've been saying this a lot, but if you're coming through the live stream or any of the videos on YouTube right now, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. There's plenty of free content available, and that will be available in the future as I do plan on streaming on a daily basis. We're trying to achieve 1,000 members. Very, very, very small, minute amount of members in comparison to some other YouTubers, but that is the goal of a newbie YouTuber here is to accumulate 1,000 fans essentially, and 1,000 TA nerds just like me who want to extremely deep, dive deep into stock market analysis, cryptocurrency analysis, and so on and so forth. So again, if you do like the channel, let a brother know, subscribe, hit that like button, tick that little bell for all the content and all the notifications that will be provided to you for free. With that said, we're going to go ahead and start. I am noticing some technical issues here. I don't know why, but my screen seems to be a little bit laggy, right? It does look like the frame rate is down. I do not know why that is an issue. If you guys are seeing any of the delay or the lag in the video, please let me know so I can try to diagnose the issue and get it resolved. I did have an issue playing Control one day, and I had thought that all of my streaming issues were fucking solved, but apparently they're not. So I do apologize if there are any issues, but for the sake of moving forward, we're going to go ahead and start the analysis. We're going to kick everything off with good old NASDAQ as usual. NASDAQ still climbing to new freaking all-time highs. Obviously putting in a pretty monster wick today to the upside. There is some bearish pressure above the 1.414 here, but, I can only mark this off as tentative resistance. It's, it is acting as a resistance zone here. What is this level? What is it? 15,000. 15,000 seems to be that psychological level that we're playing with right now, and I would say it's safe to say that if we get a break above that 15,000 tentative resistance here, the extension will continue towards that 2.272 Fibonacci extension zone towards 16,800. Again, that is not a direct target. That is not something that I'm looking to shoot up immediately towards. I'm looking for ebbing and flowing, pullbacks, higher highs, higher lows, things like that. To be established on the way up to that target. And at the end of the day, it doesn't even have to go all the way up here. It's just an indication of, hey, continuation could be either really explosive or really, really, really slow. Obviously, we're climbing very slowly to new all-time highs here, so it's not like we're seeing extremely momentous, powerful candles within this structure right now. We're actually seeing a lot of reversal style candlesticks on the daily chart here. But the disposition remains the same. A closure above that region, would further strengthen my bias of extension to that extension target. On the other hand, new all-time highs are being printed. A little bit of a pullback would not be out of the question here, even all the way back to the red 10 simple here, as I do have, a new level to play with here. This is the prior breakout point, or the current breakout point, for NASDAQ right now. And we're, basically, seeing a couple of tests of that as support right in line with that red 10 simple here. I do like that confluence. Upwards and onwards is what I'm looking for still. Volatility is getting completely crushed here. Again, it's not indicative of, directional movements, but we do know that while volatility is continuing to decrease closer and closer to that zero read, that's basically telling us, hey, something big, something big and bad is about to happen. Again, the direction is not implied, but seeing some kind of explosive movement towards that 2 spot 272 Fibonacci extension target. In confluence with explosive volatility, that'll just be another tell that this thing is far from over. Looking at the RSI here, I like the confluence continuation. It's just everything is speaking continuation to the upside from my perspective, except for the stochastics here. And we're seeing again a little bit of that weakness right here to the downside. Right, we're seeing the bearish perspective lose a little bit of momentum. Yes, we still have a negative exponential, we still have negative stochastics, but we're starting to see that upside pressure being applied to the stochastics, and it would be absolutely spectacular to continue to see the bullish control within this market here from a stochastics perspective. Again, anything deep in the critical zone here with all this coily action, right? We're not seeing pump up, pump down, crossing that threshold from the 80, above the 80, and then below the 80. We're not seeing that at all. We're seeing vast control here from a bullish perspective in NASDAQ. So NASDAQ, very powerful. I do like it. And that's pretty much my disposition here. Any closure below the red 10 simple, yes, I would have to go ahead and assume a pullback to this region here would be the first target, right around 14,700. And any closure below that would be a change of behavior from my perspective here. This is our last prior low here, and any closure below this region would be a signal of a change of behavior, so long as we get confirmation, continuation, so on and so forth. And then the next target, would be the yellow 21. I can't even fucking talk. Holy shit. Can't even talk without inhaling my own saliva. Jeez, I do apologize for that. We're going to go ahead and leave NASDAQ where that is. We're going to go ahead and move on to SPY futures here. Still pulling back, still testing out that 1 spot 272 Fibonacci extension zone as, tentative resistance, tentative support here. Finally seeing, the red 10 simple creeping a little closer to that region here. I like the confluence. This position is pretty much roughly the same, except that this one is a little bit of an outlier, showing a little bit of concern from an RSI perspective. Again, we have 1, 2, 3 drives towards that bullish control zone being rejected all 3 times, and now we're starting to see real tight action here with the RSI and the exponential here. Not saying that's going to cross or anything like that, but a breakdown below the red 10 simple, right below the 1 spot 272 would be indicative of a potential pullback here. We haven't really based a low since this region here, so that's kind of the critical level that I'm looking at for a little bit of a greater pullback. What's that level? 4,300. 4,300, give or take a few bucks, right in line with that yellow 21 moving average here. Any daily candle closure below that region, and I'm going to be looking for the top side of this zone, this boxy zone here as my next support test. And again, I've been mentioning that the green 55 is moving closer and closer to that region, which it strengthens the confluence. Same kind of disposition on volatility here. We are seeing volatility getting pretty crushed here. Anything below the 20 read is basically an indication, hey, something's likely to happen soon. Again, the direction is not implied, but that's just telling us, hey, volatility's getting crushed, participation's starting to die off, the market isn't violent, it's likely to get violent at some point. Again, just to, off the simple read that we don't have volatility here. Last time we got a volatility read of 0 2 times in a row, we saw expansion, and look what we got as a result of that expansion. Nice little low being printed on that green 55, followed by parabolic rip to the upside for SPY futures here. So consolidation, and right now it is a little bit of a consolidation, and that much is confirmed. Anytime I see contraction on historical volatility, I'm always looking for consolidation or a range as a result here. So that's nothing to be not expected here. Stochastics, still taking that dive down. I really want to see some coiling here. I really want to see this drive back to the upside, but the evidence is still there. We're still deep in the bullish critical zone. I have no reason to be bearish on anything that's closing above all major moving averages. Aside from seeing minor pullbacks for now, until I see a legitimate change of behavior, I'm going to remain absolutely vastly bullish on this. Even with the slight indications, of weakness here from the bullish perspective, again, that RSI rejecting the bottom side of the bullish control zone for three consecutive drives is a little bit of concern. But price action keeps going onwards and upwards, seeing a little bit of a pullback after that new all-time high. Continuing to test this as support, nothing out of the ordinary. So that's SPY futures. We'll move on to Dow Jones. Very similar price action here for all three of the big three brothers here. Pullback. Confirmed yesterday, a legitimate test of support confirmed today. Volatility is being crushed. Not below, yeah, actually we're below the 20 read. So, again, that's just indicative of, hey, something is likely to come at some point in the near future. It doesn't have to happen now. It doesn't have to happen this week. It could happen next month or the month after. But as volatility continues to drive further and further and further to the downside, that's more and more of an indication that something big is likely to come. Again, the direction is not implied. But from price action perspective here, we do have a little bit of consolidation, testing that as support. I still live by my bias of the 1.272 Fibonacci extension target here. I do not believe price action was close enough yet. I want to see more of a wick or more of a candle towards that region for it to be confirmed from my perspective. However, let the consolidation play out. We don't have a top call. RSI still going up. It's very, very, very slow, right? We're not seeing extreme like movements on the RSI. So, a little bit of side of concern from my perspective, but we're printing higher highs, higher lows. We're above the 50 read. Exponential is very positive. RSI is pointed up. I have no reason not to think continuation is the result. However, if we break back into this zone here or break below the prior breakout points, which was around 34,835, any closure below that region, I'm going to be looking for the next downside target of this new tentative support right here at 34,300. Not too much after that. Again, I don't want to go too far into the future with possibilities here. I want to try to keep the possibilities for the next potential moves as tight as possible here. But as far as Dow Jones, again, very, very similar stuff here. We are seeing that coiling action on stochastics starting to play out a little bit. I'll be more confident of that coiling action when we get a confirmed cross back to the upside here, and that would be perfectly aligned in confluence with either a test or a breach of the 1.272. Now, if we break that region, the 1.414 will be my next tentative target, right around 35,400. Again, these are areas of interest that we need to be paying attention to. Any kind of test up to that region, I'm going to be looking for minor pullbacks. At the very least, and including this region too. Again, any kind of Fibonacci extension target that gets met, I'm always expecting slight pullbacks as a result. Excuse me while I click free money here. But that's it for Dow Jones. We'll go ahead and check out Dixie, see what it's doing. Did it go? Ooh. No, rejecting the 377 once again, but we are seeing that stair step to the upside. Volatility is absolutely crushed while we're seeing this uptrend continue. Rejection. Oh man, that really tripped me out a little bit. Stochastics getting a little bit of rejection at the bottom side of the bullish control zone here, breaking back down, confirming a full break below the bullish control zone. Yes, we're still above the 50 read, but this is a little bit of a sign of concern here for the bullish perspective, or it could just be a fucking cool down. It could most definitely be a cool down. We are seeing RSI still above that 50 read, but what I don't like is the rejection of that negative exponential here, negatively sloped exponential, as along with a fourth rejection of the bottom side of the bullish control zone. This is an example of close enough is close enough for me to be confirming this as rejection here, breaking back down below that that exponential, forcing it more to a negative slope. Again, the long term structure is still intact here, but the same disposition. You guys are probably sick and tired of hearing me say this. Until I see a closure above 93.26. I will not be long-term bullish at all whatsoever. I am still bearish on this asset until proven otherwise, which means this region here could just as easily collapse back to the downside and continue the bearish trend, the long-term bearish trend. Again, anybody that tells you that this isn't a long-term bearish trend is fucking full of shit. Anything on the weekly, from a downtrend perspective, a weekly is not a short-term or a medium-term time frame. The weekly is when you get into the long-term perspective. When you come to the weekly here, downtrend. It looks very similar to the daily chart. Here's your fucking blow off top, followed by a lower high and a lower low and a lower high and a lower low and a lower high and a lower low and a lower high, higher low. We have a higher low. That's the only thing that we have. From an aggressive standpoint, yes, you could say that we are looking at a potential bullish trend. But again, I am a confirmation trader, and I want to see confirmation of a bullish trend here. And until we breach that level to the upside, I'm not going to be convinced. For now, the price action is telling me, you know, basically testing the red 10 simple here as new tentative support, testing this breakout point as support once again. We are seeing price action hold this region. However, if we see the red 10 simple break, my next target is going to be this region here, the yellow 21, right around 92.1. And that's where I'm going to leave the downside potentials. And again, anything above the cyan, or excuse me, the blue 377 here, the next tentative target will be this region here at 92.92. But more likely, I'll be looking for a test of that prior high here, right around 93.25. So that's kind of it for Dixie here. We're going to go ahead and move on to Mr. Bitcoin. And then we only got 3 requests tonight, so it looks like today will be a little bit of a shorter video, which is fine. I got some Smash Brothers to play tonight. Caden, if you're watching this, you're on, bro. You're on. Yes, sometimes I take breaks. Sometimes I fucking take breaks, okay? I like video games and deal with it. God. I'm just kidding. All right, let's look at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin really reacting off of that lower support here, confirming it more so as support, still closing that candle above the blue 377. That was not expected from my perspective, to be quite honest with you, but I'm still looking at resistance outside of this broken triangle here. It is acting as resistance currently. We do see the bottom side resistance of that triangle formation perfectly aligned with the red 10 simple. So price action is closing below all major moving averages. I'm fucking bearish, except for the blue 377, right? Except for the blue 377. Everything else we're closing below, and I still have, you know, bearish perspective to consider here. We do see RSI still creeping down here, still in bearish control in my opinion. Not not full on bearish control, but we're below the 50 read, which is telling me that the bears have more control than the bulls do, and that much is definitely true here for Bitcoin. Nice strong bull wick off of that, but we closed on a reversal style candlestick here, so my disposition is essentially the same as yesterday. I'm still going to be looking for price action and move closer and closer to the 3,100 region. More importantly, though, I'm still looking at this bottom side here. This is the last hope area from my perspective before the floodgates for the bearish market open. I will bring this indicator back up to refresh some minds here. I'm looking at the VPVR here on Bitcoin, and we do see the point of control is this region here. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, maybe the point of control has changed. It seems that the point of control... No, there it is. There it is. There it is. Okay, so the point of control here is acting as tentative resistance here. We've seen multiple stabs of the point of control fail to the downside. There's your warning shot fired number 1, right? Warning shot fired number 2 is going to be a closure below 31,500. Warning shot number 3 is going to be a closure below 30,450, give or take 50 or $100. But again, we do see that point of control with massive volume in this region acting as tentative resistance here, and what I'm trying to bring to attention, it's very hard to see, but I'm looking at this node here, right? I'm looking at this node here, and that's the node that's perfectly aligned with that last hope breakdown point here, and we see how low value that node actually is. The fact that we're seeing some of these higher value nodes act as support is no big surprise from my perspective. However, this node here acting as support, very much less likely in my opinion. And if we see this node break, if we see that last area break, we see the volume profile and how completely crushed the volume profile is to the downside, right? This is weak volume in comparison to this high value volume here. So we do know that there's likely not to be much support on the way down. There's likely to be bounces along the way. Obviously we have levels identified for bounces here along the way, but the volume profile tells me that if this breaks to the downside, it's likely to be extremely violent. Alongside of that, we're seeing volatility being absolutely crushed, that moving average moving closer and closer to that 0 read here. So the volatility is absolutely crushed right now. Where is my volume? Volume is definitely being crushed, which is again indicative of of a bigger move likely to come. If we go ahead and put on a little bit of a trend line, we can definitely say that we let me let me pull it up here. We are likely to expect something by the 3rd of August, sometime in August. Likely is the timing. Again, it's not a crystal ball thing, but the collapse in volume, the collapse in volatility tells us that likely in August we see something massive occur on price action here. Again, the direction is not implied with an analysis like that from volume and historical volatility perspective, but it is indicative to tell you, hey, it's time to get ready. Something big is likely to occur in Mr. Cryptocurrency land. And again, anytime something massive, either to the upside or to the downside, occurs on Bitcoin, some of those shitty altcoins are likely to mirror the effects of Bitcoin's price action. So, it is crunch time. We do have a little bit of a breakdown below this triangle formation, which I do put some weight on here. But most importantly, pay attention to these levels. Again, I still am a levels trader. I'm just trying to simplify, and instead of highlighting support and resistances that are inconsequential, I'm trying to identify the ones of critical weight here. And what I have on the chart right now are my critical zones. So let's talk about the upside. This is the top side resistance that I'm currently looking at for any kind of bullish momentum here. Any closure above 34,650, I will look for a move all the way to the top of this top of this box zone. Any closure above 36,000, and then we have potential liftoff. Obviously, hitting these highs as potential levels, but I'll be looking at the major high as a potential target right around 40,500, and obviously any closure above that likely confirms this region here as a macro low, as a macro cycle low for Bitcoin, and the possibilities for Bitcoin, if that is confirmed, are fucking limitless at that point. We're talking like six-digit Bitcoin cost here. So that's the upside potential, and we have the downside potential. That's where I'm going to leave Mr. Bitcoin here for now. Again, it's very boring. It's very slow. Consolidation is starting to tighten up real tight. We see, crushed volatility. We see crushed volume. Something in my opinion, something big is coming. It's coming. Something big is coming. Again, the direction is not implied. Don't go all, Brian, oh, you said up. Oh, you said down. Direction is not implied. Wait for confirmation. That is the most important key. You got to wait for confirmation, right? So that's Bitcoin. We're going to go ahead and move on to I think we only have 3 requests tonight. Yeah, we only have 3. MMAT. Oh, my holy Jesus. My goodness, bro. This I'm going to give you a heads up right now. This is shit. It is not looking good. So we see MMAT here, right? While technically this could be like a macro cycle low, you know what I'm saying? I have a different perspective. Volatility is absolutely expanded right here on that downside movement, which gives me the case of validity for that, including increasing volume along the way on this downside move. Do we have a low? Yeah, we have a confirmed low, but I'm not convinced that this is going to play out with any further upside price action, for the simple fact that we did not see a candle closure above this region here, right around $4.60. And until we confirm a closure back above $4.60, I'm going to be looking for more downside continuation. Now, bounce. Yes, I do think a potential bounce could play out as a result. Where could be the target here? Where's the last high, right? Here. So I'm going to put this here. And this is the level we need to pay attention to as far as potential lower highs are concerned. Anything below this, right? If we get a structure where it comes up to this resistance and rejects, prints a lower high, downtrend. Downtrend definitely confirmed. Obviously, it's a downtrend because of this, lower low. Where's the last low? Right here. Yeah, it's a change of behavior. I would actually look at this point as potential lower high structure area here. But at the end of the day, anything below this point is gonna tell me more bearish action is likely to result here. We could see price action obviously pump up to the $10 region, but we could look at that as very, very staunch resistance here. Again, we have a lot of volume to the breakdown. We have a change of behavior. This is by no means bullish at all, especially seeing this kind of like boom to the downside, right? 80%. That's a huge move. And usually huge moves like that in traditional land don't end well. But again, we still are technically long-term bullish. I do believe if we pull up the weekly, yeah, we are technically. Where's the last low? we are technically still bullish from a weekly perspective. We could see, this printout as a low and continue onwards and upwards to new all-time highs. That's a lot of hindsight bullshit, and I don't like hindsight bullshit. I want to play it level by level. We do see the RSI here, still below the 50 read, putting in that low. That exponential is vastly negative, right? We see hardly any weakness to the downside. Exponential is crossed into the bearish neutral zone here. Nice little bounce off that region. But is it a momentous bounce? It's too soon to tell. I want to see if there's going to be any consolidation as a result here. We do see volatility starting to contract a little bit. It's still pretty violent. Again, anything in the 20 read is when I want to say, hey, consolidation is definitely the key to look for. But typically when we get blow-offs like this here and then massive volatility, we see volatility cool down and we see consolidation or a larger range play out as a result. So that could be very well what we're getting ourselves into for this. Stochastics, critical. This isn't a signal at all until we cross back above the threshold for the bullet or the bearish control zone. That's MMAT. Any closure below this region, it's just going to continue bleeding down in my opinion. Below 350, the next target would be $2.68, give or take. Any closure above this region here at $4.60, I'll be looking for an extension to this target here, right around $6. Give or take a couple of cents, and maybe even $6.50 to $6.65. And that's going to be it for MMAT. It doesn't look good. It's bearish as fuck. There's a nasty pullback as a result of that blow off top. Ashford Hospitality Trust. Same disposition here. Volatility is expanding. This isn't even confirmed as a low. Yeah, we could see a little bit of a bounce to this region here, $2.65, but that likely results in a lower high formation here. Maybe a consolidation between these two levels here. The $1.85 region and the $2.65 region. We could easily see consolidation within that region here, but this is not bullish in my opinion. I do look for consolidation and potential more pullbacks on this one. Again, RSI definitely giving you that tell. We are in bearish control, confirmed. That is official. And any kind of pump up, I'm going to be looking to be met with staunch resistance. And it's very possible that the top side of the bearish control zone here acts as tentative resistance. If not, I'll be looking at the negatively sloped exponential to act as tentative resistance. We see that structure here that I built a while back is no longer valid, removed. That was broken when we put in a colossally new low. Very nasty price action here indeed. Stochastics deep in the bearish critical zone. Again, there's no signals here. We don't even have a confirmed low for upside consolidation. So for now, those are the two levels that I'm looking at. I'm not even looking for this to break or for this to break right now. I want to give it some more time, some more price action history before I can, I can make any kind of disposition on this. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. These are just my own speculative opinions on the market. And this is bad, man. This is really bad. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, bears have control. So the general disposition for this one is more downside. Obviously, we can see pumps up, consolidation again, as I've mentioned before. That much could play out, but until at the very least I see any closure above $3, I'm going to remain bearish on this asset. And even the $3 region could be the next staunch resistance for a lower high structure. Our last lower high was here, and from the absolutely catatonically bullish perspective, until we close candles back above $5.35, I have no reason to be bullish on this one. So that's AHT. We'll go ahead and move on to the last one, Fubo. Again, I do apologize. This is going to be a shorter stream. If you do like the content, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Tick that little bell. We're just trying to grow the channel, and it's very, very, very much appreciated, you guys. Last stock for the day. We're gonna look at Fubo. I'm fucking bearish. I'm bearish. I mean, long term, this is a beautiful uptrend structure, obviously, but the case remains bearish right now. Why? Lower high, and a lower low. Well, macro. Well, maybe. Macro cycle low, macro low, macro double bottom, macro low. I mean, we're following this diagonal trend line to a T. We actually have a little bit of a breakdown here, printing a new low. Yeah, definitely printing new lows here. So the bias is to the downside. We have historical volatility percentile expanding on this downside movement. That's telling me that there's your direction here for it. RSI breaking below that 50 read. Oh, see, that's a critical signal from my perspective here. That RSI is breaking below the critical read here. If we see confirmation, which means follow through to the next target, which is this region here at 24.50, it's definitely going to be confirmed that the pullbacks are likely to be much deeper, in my opinion. This would be the next target. Let's get some targets to the downside here. Obviously, as I highlight these, they're just potential targets. They're not guaranteed to be met. However, this definitely looks very weak in my perspective. Again, new lows being printed. No lower high. No lower high, but the fact that we took out this low here at 27.75 tells me that there is a change of behavior, and that change of behavior has been confirmed with that candle closure below this support level here. I'm just looking for more continuation, man. To be quite honest with you, to the downside, things are looking a little beat up, and it does look like bearish control is ready to get set in here. Obviously, the target that I'm looking for, possibly even into tomorrow's 24.40. Any closure below that region, I'm going to be looking for more of a pullback towards 22 bucks. However, if we revert and close back above 27.60, I'll be looking for extension to this level here as the next tentative resistance, right around 30 bucks. Yeah, and until we take out this high, I have no actual bullish perspective. It's just another lower high in a series of, well, actually, this is actually technically a higher high in relation to this one, technically. So, I mean, change of behavior from a bullish perspective was confirmed on this parabolic move to the upside. So maybe I'm just full of bullshit, but the way the charts look and the way that we got another change of behavior here tells me that maybe this is just a structural top before coming in, putting in another structural high or low, and then ripping to the upside. That is definitely a possibility, but that's a possibility for hindsight traders. Right now I'm looking for possibilities on moves coming into the next few days. So that's my disposition on Fubo. Like I said before, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you came through and watched it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. I'm going to say it over and over again until I hit 1,000 members. I do apologize, but I want some interaction. That's the dream isn't to become this big famous YouTuber who has 50 million followers. I just want enough followers. I want enough followers to be able to interact with me while I stream. TA nerds to come in and either criticize my technical analysis or throw in pointers or things like that. So that's kind of why I'm spamming the like, subscribe, and tick the little bell thing. I do apologize for that. That is not my goal long term to say that into the mic every day in every stream and every video, but until I get a sufficient amount of subscribers that I can communicate with and interact with, that's going to be the goal. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. That's going to wrap it up for me today. Happy Wednesday. We'll see you back here again tomorrow, roughly the same time, and until next time, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Peace.